All right, Lewis says, how important is blogging for a home service business? Should they be location optimized or category optimized? Thanks. That's a really good question. Okay, so blogging in and of itself isn't helpful. And I mean, just for the sake of blogging. But if you have now, don't get me wrong, for years, for my own local SEO agency, we would just blog away, and that's how we got results. But that's not really what works now. Having a content strategy so that you can develop topical coverage or the broadest topic coverage for the product and service categories that the business provides. Like, how can you become a topical authority in the local area about that industry, about the business's industry, the products and services, et cetera, that it sells or provides, offers, whatever. Hopefully that makes sense. So blogging with a strategy in mind, an actual game plan, like here's how do you do that, right? First of all, develop a topic map of how can I fully cover the topic, again, products or services or whatever. How can I cover this to where I have more, my local entity, my brand has more topical authority than any of the other local competitors. That's how you do it, right? So you can develop it out. You can go to ChatGPT and prompt it several times and figure out like topical map that way. That's a topical authority map or topical map. You can call it either one. But then start developing content. And then if you're blogging, then you can start to develop a content strategy around that map so that you can start to, basically develop content for each of the points in the topical map. Hopefully that's clear. And then interlinking, if there's got to be silo structure and all that. Now we're getting into the weeds of kind of like the technical nitty gritty of it, but blogging can be incredibly valuable when you have a strategy in place, is what I'm saying. Because over time, you will develop the topical authority that your competitors won't have. And so you will be the preferred result that Google will serve, if that makes sense, or your company, your business, et cetera. So blogging in and of itself, just for the activity, used to be effective. I don't think that's nearly as effective now, because you have to have a strategy that makes sense, or else you can actually, if you're just blogging and to just add content, you can actually cause cannibalization on site, right? If you try to cover the same kind of keyword or topic, and it's better to optimize for topics than keywords, but if you use the same kind of keyword in the SEO title across, even if it's a different, conversational type of title like a blog post typically has, if you're targeting the same basic keyword or variants of that keyword, and you've got multiple posts, now they could potentially cannibalize each other. So again, I don't recommend, and by the way, again, to be clear, guys, for years, that's all I did for my own local SEO agency, is we would just publish content like, 1 post, 2 posts, 3 posts per week on the blog that it would syndicate out. And that was very, very effective. But remember, Google is trying to reduce bloat on sites, or it's trying to steer us away from just publishing content for the sake of publishing content. That, again, can lower site quality score. With the helpful content update, I've seen a lot of changes occurring in the last few weeks, for sure. And so I'm thinking, a lot of this has to do with, again, not adding content just for the sake of content. In the past, it was kind of like the freshness factor by just publishing content regularly on the site. That was like a ranking benefit. But now it can actually be detrimental, because you can have redundancy, bloat, cannibalization, a number of things. You have to have a strategy. And that's, that's beyond the scope of what we're going to talk about today. But should they be location optimized or category optimized? I say category or topic optimized. Category or topic optimized. Because if it's a local business, meaning if the website is associated with a local business that has a Google business profile, then you want the topic coverage, and the location is already implied because it's associated with a local business that has a location where you've defined within the appropriate location pages, the service area, et cetera. So optimize the posts for topic coverage, not for location. For the blog, I'm saying, if you have specific location pages, then you're going to want to optimize those for topic or category plus location. That's fine. But I'm talking about for the blog, you want to build topical authority. So I I omit kind of the location optimization unless it's relevant. So for example, in a tree service business, if we're talking about tree care for Virginia trees, now you're talking about adding some location or geographic relevance to the topic because it's relevant to the state that the business is in. If it was a tree service company in the state of Virginia, does that make sense? So I'm not talking about optimizing for tree care plus city, because then you'd have tree care plus city plus neighbor, all the different adjacent cities and all that. It's not necessary, right? Develop the blog to provide topical authority so that you have the broadest coverage about the products and services that company provides. The location, it should be implied through how it's associated, that the blog is associated with the business, and the business should be able to define to Google through the location pages in the Google business profile, the location. Hopefully that makes sense. But again, start with a strategy, and that's the best way to do it, in my opinion.